Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it was sent to me by one of our dear brother, and this is the translation of that message that he sent to me. The message, it reads like this. Hello, Brother Nashi, how are you? I have come here on your platform so that I can tell you what my sister told me. So my sister confessed to me that she cheated on her husband, and she confessed to me that she had one of her boyfriends killed by a rich blesser. This was when she was still young, but she had already gotten married to my brother-in-law. At the time when my sister died, we were already here in South Africa, and she died during the COVID-19. So there were a lot of restrictions. Like if you had your relatives that were in the hospital, you could not go to the hospital to see them as much as you wanted. So what we used to do, it was me and my brother-in-law who had been given that task to regularly go and check up on my sister. So there was this other day, I went there because my sister had been crying, and she had been saying that she wanted to see me. She wanted to see me, even though in the same province where I was staying, I had my cousin brothers, but they were from their mother's side. So she said that she wanted to speak with her blood brother, and I was the only one who was around. So one day, me and my brother-in-law, we then went. So my brother-in-law then said, since we cannot go in together, I will wait here by the security. And I left him talking with the security, and I went into the hospital during the visitation time. I went and I spoke with my sister, and I saw that my sister life was coming to an end, because I saw that there was this other nurse who was already preparing, those oxygen bottles, and I knew that my sister's life was coming to an end. So when I went into that ward, even that nurse was shocked, because my sister, she had gone for several days. She could not talk, and she could not see anymore, and she could not eat. But the moment that I walked into that ward, she woke up, she gathered the strength, then she opened her eyes, and then she started to talk to me, and she said, "Oh, brother, finally, here you are." The nurse then ran out of the ward, and she went and she called the other nurses, and they came with the doctors, and they were even surprised that my sister was now recovering. But little did we know that my sister's life was coming to an end. On that same day, she was going to die. And she had waited all this time so that she can tell me whatever that she wanted to tell me. So after my sister had gathered her strength, she then asked for some privacy. So the nurses then walked away, and it was me and my sister. She then told me, and she said that, "Dear brother, the reason as to why I have called you, it is because I feel that there was one who was holding my spirit, one who was holding my soul captive. And I want to tell you this story so that the one that has been holding my soul captive can release me, can release my spirit." And my sister then told me that after she had seen that she had fallen pregnant, and when she looked, she saw that the man who had made her to fall pregnant, the man could not afford to give her a better life. And that is the reason as to why she had gotten married to her husband, my brother-in-law, the same man whom I had left at the hospital gate talking with the security. And my sister made me to promise to her, and she said, "Please promise me that all the things that I am going to tell you, you are not going to tell my husband. I do not want him to find out that our son that we had together." My sister then said, "Please promise me that all the things that I am going to tell you, you will never tell my husband, no matter what." So after I had promised her, she said that the time when I realized that I was pregnant, I then lied to my husband that the baby that I was carrying, the baby was his. And she said that the moment that she started to stay with my brother-in-law, she started to act as if she was possessed by the demon of adultery. She said that she would take each and every opportunity just to sleep with different men whenever she could, because she just felt like it. And she would sleep with men that were much older than she was. My sister then told me that when she started dating her blesser, this man then changed her. She was someone who never drank alcohol, but because of her rich blesser, she started to drink alcohol. She started to go to different clubs, and it happened that there was this other time when they went to this other club, and she saw that her blesser was drunk and was fast asleep, and they were in the VIP section. And she then started to speak with this other man who told her that if she could go to the bathroom with him for a quickie, then the man was going to give her some money. So she thought of making some quick cash, and she knew that her blesser at the end of the night was also going to give her some extra money. So she went with that man to the bathroom, but little did she know that her blesser had already found out that she had been planning to do this with her new boyfriend. So they went to the bathroom, and then her blesser caught her in the act as she was making love to that other man in the men's bathroom. And the blesser then took her back to the VIP section where they continued drinking their alcohol. That man also came and continued doing what he was doing, just chilling also at the VIP section. It then happened that there was this other man who just came out of nowhere. My sister said that this man was holding a long knife, and that man ended up stabbing that man whom my sister had slept with in the bathroom. He was stabbed in the neck, and after that man had been stabbed in the neck, he fell to the ground, and my sister said that she saw blood. There was blood everywhere. Then the blesser called my sister and said, "Let us get out of this club." They went to the blesser's car. Then the blesser started to drive. My sister said that the blesser drove until they were stopped by this other car. But from the look of things, it seemed as if this blesser and the man that was driving that vehicle knew each other. And this man was a CID. He was a policeman. So my sister said that the blesser had that knife that had been used to stab that man. And this knife was full of blood. So my sister said that this knife was handed over to the police, and that case, it never went anywhere. No one even knew who stabbed that man to death. My sister said that she felt so guilty when she knew that the reason as to why that man got murdered, it was because of her sleeping with that man. That was the reason as to why that man got murdered. So throughout her life, she said that she had been struggling to cope with the fact that she got a man killed, and she had no one to tell this story because she was afraid of the blesser. And that blesser told my sister that, "You know that I am connected and I want you to be my girlfriend. You are not going to date any other man. As for your husband, I am not going to get him killed because he found you first before I had found you." When my sister said that she felt that now she was free to go, I did not understand that she was actually telling me that she was about to die, because this was the first time to ever be around a person that is about to die. So when I saw that my sister, she was no longer talking and she was no longer breathing, I then started screaming and I called the nurses. And when the nurses came back, the moment that I realized that my sister was dead, when I saw them, when they were pulling the curtains around covering her bed, making sure that other people won't notice what they were doing to my sister, I started walking and I was so confused, and I started crying until I got out of the ward where she was, and I just sat down. When I sat down, even my brother-in-law saw me and asked the security, and he was allowed to get into the hospital premises. He came and he spoke with me. In that moment, since I was really confused, if my brother-in-law, he had asked me what exactly my sister had told me, I am pretty sure that I was nothing but a weak man. I could have told him, but he did not tell me. He also started to cry after he had been told that his wife had passed away. We then returned back to the location where we were staying. Then my cousin brothers and sisters asked me what exactly had my sister told me, since they knew that my sister for a very long time kept on saying that she wanted to tell me something that was really important. Then lied to my relatives, and I said my sister had told me that after her death, she wanted her kids to be taken care of by my mother. And then we took her kids after we had repatriated her body from South Africa after the burial, then my relative said we need to respect the wishes of our late sister. So my brother-in-law allowed us to take his kids, and they are now staying with my mother back in the village. But my brother-in-law does not even have any idea. So my sister told me that I should never reveal this secret to my brother-in-law. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by our brother right there. Strange things do happen in this world.